Hi guys, good evening. Welcome home to my home in Rashidia in Dubai. Tonight I'm going to do something rather traditional, just with a little bit of my own impact what I do. I'm going to do beans with bacon and onions and steak on top. But I do it a little bit my way, which I feel is a little bit more tasty. So let's have a look what I have. Okay, first I have a nice ribeye steak. And then I have here potatoes, red onions, green beans, ginger, garlic, mango, anise seeds, smoked beef bacon, piece of sweet potato and a tomato. You see that most of our vegetable already is clean, peeled, washed, so I'm doing it the easy way. I got all this stuff from Barakat Quality Plus. It saves me a lot of time, saves me wastage. I know it's clean, the hygiene is impacted there, so makes it a lot easier to me. So let's go and let's start to open the packet and then let's start to cook. Okay, so my water is boiling. So before I start to cut the rest, I put a little bit salt in the water. Put the beans first. Green beans, always we need to make sure that green beans are cooked well, because green beans are actually, if you eat them raw, they're actually poisoning. So you won't die from it. You would have to eat a lot of it, but green beans should always be cooked. Okay, potatoes, I have my sweet potatoes. And the others, I boil them together. I basically just blanch them and then I will fry them in butter later. So I use sweet potatoes, and I like to use sweet potatoes and normal potatoes together. Actually the sweet potatoes have a much better, more vitamins. Sweet potatoes actually is one of the highest vegetables with the highest vitamin A, and actually sweet potatoes are part of the 12 superfoods because of the high level of vitamin A. But I love the flavor, to have the two flavors mixed. So now I will go on the other side and start to cut the rest. Okay, so I cut the onions first. Because the onions I will use for actually both onions, garlic and ginger, all three. I will use for both, for the potatoes, when I cook the potatoes and the beans together at the end, and I will also use it for the sauce, because with the tomato I will make a light, like a fresh tomato concasse, not really a sauce, just to have that the meat is not dry, to have some flavor on the meat. So here we go. It's okay. It doesn't have to be too fine. Next is the garlic. Also, I don't chop it fine. I just slice it and a little bit, first to make sure. Have to make sure it's cooked. But I want to taste the garlic inside. I want to, beans. For me, beans need the bacon, the smoke flavor, needs the garlic flavor, because then this is for me the proper beans. And I will mix the potato today with the beans together. So I do a little bit different. We would, in the old traditional way, we would keep the beans long as they are and just saute them with some onions and finish them. But I do the ginger, which is one of the big things which is different, but I love ginger flavor. And as we know, I talked about superfoods, and we know ginger and garlic are also part of the superfood family. And now, these days, we're looking a little bit more on our health. We're looking at what kind of food is better for us. So tomato is a little bit soft, but it's perfect for what we need them. Let's get the stick out, and That's it. So you don't need to have a nice firm tomato. The soft tomato what I have here is perfectly alright. So now I think I have to go back and look at my potatoes, because I don't want them overcooked. I don't want to do much potatoes. My beans are cooked, my potatoes are boiled. So now I just have to cut them, because as I said, I want a kind of ragu later on. So we'll see that I don't cut them too long. And I just, when I pan fry them, just I start with onions, ginger, garlic, and actually I use the beef bacon with the beans from the beginning, because I want the smoke flavor a little bit in there. So here we go. Voila. Almost done. Just what I was thinking, if I should cut the steak before in cubes, or if I should cut it whole. So what I have decided now, I will cut it before. So first my bacon. This is smoked, but it's raw beef bacon. So it needs to cook for a little while, otherwise it will be tough. So you need to always see if you have any kind of bacon, if it's just smoked raw, or if it's hot smoked. That means then you just have to almost warm it up and make it crispy if you want, or whichever. So here we go. Okay, now I do what I wouldn't do if I cook it as a steak. I remove that a little bit, because my dining partner tonight does not like to have fat inside. So I really remove everything what is there. And with small pieces what I cut off, the cats will be very happy to get something special tonight. Okay, there we go. Let's go. Now let's start cooking. Okay. So my first pan, as I said, I start with the bacon for the beans. Then here the second one, I will start my tomato concasse. Okay, so the bacon first, because it will take a bit longer than everything else. Here I will start with some garlic, because if you remember I said I will put the meat in the concasse. So a little bit of ginger, so we'll cook that first. When it starts a bit, then I just in a little bit olive oil. I will finish it at the end. My beans and my potatoes, everything with butter. But I start only with olive oil. I'm using Rama olive oil, because for me it's one of the best to use in the kitchen. So now ready for the onions. Okay, in the meantime I get the next pan ready. So this is the thing when you cook at home, you have a less powerful oven. You have to always remember that. And if I use 3 pans, it's for my oven, for my gas oven, more than enough, because if I use more, then I won't have enough heat to cook properly. So I will use that pan to cook the beef, and then after the potatoes, or whichever way around. Here we do the potatoes first, because they take a little bit longer. So put them straight, because remember I boiled the potatoes, so they don't have to cook too long. So I use straight away butter because I want flavor and color. So the bacon is almost done. So now also with my onions, I add a little bit butter. Because I want the flavor of the roasted onions, I want the sweetness to come out. So bacon is okay. Now onions and garlic. And ginger. I put quite a lot of ginger, which is people would say is very unusual. Ginger with green beans. But two reasons. Number one, I love the flavor of ginger. Number two, as I said earlier, ginger is part of the superfoods. So my pan is getting warm for the potatoes. So I'll do that. So I get my beans ready. A little bit more, I want the onions a little bit more cooked because the beans are also cooked already. So now I have to be careful that my onions here don't get too much color because I don't want it. So now the fresh tomatoes. A little bit salt. A little bit pepper. And at the end I will put a small spoon, little bit of pesto, just to get a little bit more flavor. Not to confuse the flavors, so just a little bit. So now I can turn it down. So just a little bit. Okay. So here we go. Now onions are almost cooked. So I want it because once I start to put the beans, the onions don't cook the same way anymore. So also now I will put a little butter. My wife is always complaining that I use too much butter. I use Lupak, which is a very, very good Danish butter. Okay. Now the beans. Right away. Salt. Have to be careful not to put too much salt because the bacon is marinated, so the bacon is quite salty already. Because when you cook it the way I did, then it gets more salty. Oh, it looks yummy. Now my potatoes. So leave them a little bit. Actually, I was talking before that I will put everything together, the beans and the potatoes, but I'm thinking now because they look actually very nice. This way, when you eat them, you can mix them anyhow. So I'm still thinking about it until I start dressing if I put it together or not. So now I'll keep everything cooking for a few minutes and then we'll see you back. Okay, so my tomato sauce is almost done. Said I will put a little pesto, but you see, just a little, not much. And now my next pan is ready for the meat. So I'll just season it a little bit. Go. And it's hot. Want to make sure that the pan is hot for the meat, that it doesn't boil. Because I don't want, it's good quality meat. I don't want to cook it better. Okay, meat is ready. As I said, I don't want to cook it too long. Okay, here we go. And now, the reason why I do what I'm doing now, I put it back in this pan, because I want the flavor of the meat, which is on the bottom of the pan, I want to have it in the sauce. Okay, here we go. Dinner is ready to go. Oh, beans, they look yummy. So, the beans, move them a little bit around, and I put my potatoes. Potatoes in the middle. Look really nice. And you're wondering why I talked about mango and I talked about anise seeds. People who know me well, they know I love to cook with fruits and I love the acid. You see, when you see the pan now, before when I took the meat out, it was very dark. Now all the flavor from there is inside the sauce. So really, really yummy. So now Uwe special, because I love my acid, and mango has always been one of my favorite fruits, actually, next to anna. Looks a little bit messy, but I can tell you it will taste really yummy. Now I just finish it off because I still have my fresh basil in the kitchen, so I finish it off with a little bit of green.